Yo, what is up? Welcome to another video here on Free Will Photos. Today we're going to take a look at a picture of a leaf in a little stream that's behind my house. Took some photos of it as some leaves were going through. But as you can tell, this is not the live stream, obviously. I'm not live streaming today because I am on the road and I'm traveling. So hopefully you guys have seen some of the photos that I've been posting on YouTube, through the community app. So if you guys are liking those, just make sure you go find them, hit the thumbs up. And if you find content in this video, smash the thumbs up. So let's go ahead and jump over to On One and take a look at this. All right, so this is the photo that we're going to be editing today. And it's actually, I think it's a pretty cool photo. And we're just going to dive in. So I have no idea what I am going to end up with on this photo, by the way. So what I noticed first off is I need to crop this. All right. Now, let me go to local real quick. And sometimes what I do is I make a notes. So I'm going to just call this notes. Uh-oh. That's not what I meant to do. I don't know what's going on. Let's get rid of that. Because I don't want a text. I want local. And then we'll hit inside of there. Oh, I see what happens. Using my Wacom tablet. I don't use it enough. And of course, I'm making a fool of myself. Oh well. All right, let's go ahead and open up the notes tab. We're going to hit the paint with a color. Now, I like to choose a very vibrant color, so I'm just going to go with a really bright green. All right, go ahead and close that out. And then we will go with a brush that has no feather because I don't need to feather this, and it can be at 100% opacity. We'll go ahead and make this a smaller brush. So like I said before, first thing that I want to do is I want to put a crop, probably something like this, right? Maybe something like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is not by any means me trying to be perfect. All right. So I think I'll do something like that for the crop. And then I probably want to do something about sharpening this area, right? So we'll go ahead and circle this. What is going on with this brush? I don't know what's going on with this brush. It's behaving. Oh, let's just turn off manual spacing. There we go. That was just driving me crazy. All right. So, let's get rid of this. I'm just erasing this real quick. And boom. All right. Now we can get back to our original program. So this area right here, I definitely want to sharpen, and I'll just write sharp. I think I'll write sharp. I'm going to just put SH. There's a delay between what I'm writing on the Wacom tablet to what I'm seeing on the screen. So there's that issue. And I think that's good for now. I'll probably do somewhere in this portion just a little bit of like highlight control, and then maybe even open up a little bit over here, open the shadows. All right, So that's essentially my game plan. Let's see how this all works out. Now I'm going to turn off and hide my notes. And like I said before, the first thing I want to do is jump into the crop, and I want to crop this. Now, I don't want to lose my aspect ratio, so I'm going to keep the original ratio, and I'm just going to pull this in and see what I can get. Let's flip that. I feel like I do need to keep this portrait. I don't want to do, so we'll keep it portrait. And maybe I'll change the ratio to 3:4. Yeah, I think 3:4 is going to give me what I want. Yeah, that's much better. All right, so the goal here is to keep the leaf probably somewhere here. And I kind of like that water splash. So I think this will be my composition. We'll go ahead and accept that. So now that I have my composition, next thing that I want to do is come down to no noise and throw on some no noise. We'll let that process for a second. And once it is done processing, we will figure out what we want to keep. Now, based off of reading some of the forums, and this is a Canon CR3 file, as you can see, or I'm sorry, this is from my EOS R. So I think this is still a CR3 file. Yeah, it's a CR3, but it's not the newer version of the CR3. So, you know, let's go ahead and pull this halfway over the leaf. I like what it's doing here to the leaf, and we're gonna bring in some sharpening here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and bring the luminance down. I've heard that on CR3 files, bringing the luminance down is probably a good idea. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, but that really does introduce more noise. So I've heard also, just from reading through the forums, to also bring down the detail. Now, that's at 100%. I'm not going to be viewing the photo at 100%, and neither will you. So I'm trying to zoom out here. Come on, computer. Work with me. Doesn't want... There we go. All right, so this is how I'm going to view the image, and I'll do a halfway. All right, I'm going to have to use my mouse to do this part. Just because the lag with the Wacom tablet, I don't know what's going on. In fact, I'm just going to edit this whole photo with my mouse. So let me move my Wacom tablet out of the way, and we'll just go with the mouse. All right, I can edit with a mouse. So yeah, I think this is looking okay. I'm not too mad at that. And I'm going to bring localized sharpening in. I don't want to sharpen the whole thing because I think I like the way that this is soft everywhere else. So I'm going to pull the luminance up just a little bit more. Let me know in the comment section below if this is something that, you know, you struggle with, like how much luminance. And I don't mind noise in the photo. This was shot at 10,000 ISO. So kind of up there, but really not a big deal. I'm going to just go ahead and remove a little bit of that noise, and I think that this cleans up the image quite well. Now, I'm going to hit AI Auto, but I'm not going to keep it. I just want to see what happens. Now, obviously, there's all of this noise. This is the reason why I don't want to keep AI Auto, and I don't want to open up too much of what's going on over here, but I did want to see what detail I have in the shadows, and then how On One would pretend to fix this. So I do like it a little bit more dark, and this is where I think I'm gonna go into my, and portrait actually opens up just enough shadow detail. Look at that. I like that. What's camera portrait do? No, not the same. Camera neutral. camera landscape. I like what camera landscape does to the leaf. It gives it that orange color. I think I'm going to go with on one portrait. I like what on one portrait is doing with the photo. Now, when I approach my global edits, I look at what is it that I can accept across the entire image, right? Now, I know that doesn't sound like rocket science, but it's the truth. So typically for me, what I like to do is look at the histogram. I'm going to hold down the J key, and I am really blowing out some highlights there. So I'm going to bring down my highlights, see if I can recover that detail. I'm not overly concerned because I'm not going to print this image. This is really just going to be a digital file that I save. But if you were printing, you definitely want to fix that. And then I'm going to hold down the J key, and I'm going to pull until I start to see some see that I'm losing detail in shadow areas that I want to have detail. I'm not worried about seeing what's over there. That can be dark. Like, I'm not worried about that, right? But as soon as I start to see, and again, most of this can be dark. I just wanted that to be open so there's some depth in the photo. But I think that's good for now. So I am going to, I wonder if haze, yeah, there's no haze to really mess around with on this one. So we'll reset that and we are good to go there. And now I am going to go into my effects. I think that's where we'll go next. So I know that I want to sharpen this, and right now is probably the time that I would recommend sharpening as your first effect because everything else will stack on top of it. I don't want to sharpen all of the effects. I just want to sharpen what's there originally, and then we'll go from there. So it's on high pass. Let me zoom into it, turn it off and turn it back on. And I actually like what it's doing there. I'm not gonna hate on that. The default here, I think I'm just gonna go with the default. And yes, it's okay to go with the defaults if it works for the image that you're working on. Now, if it's not working, then obviously don't go for the default. But what I'm gonna do is hit lumen and hit O so I can see my mask. And then we're gonna start to tailor this in. I don't need it in all of those shadowed areas up there because I don't need any sharpness there. And then, looks like there was a little bit of a delay. I definitely want it on the leaf. And, yep, bringing it back more into the leaf. I love using luminosity layers in on one. It really makes quick work of things that otherwise would take a little bit more time. All right, so this is probably a good place for me to just go ahead and hit Shift X, grab my brush, and I'm just going to paint out everywhere that I don't want the sharpening effect. And this is something that you can do with any of your edits as well. Now, I know I don't want the sharpening effect anywhere around there, and I'm probably gonna have to grab a smaller brush, just like so, because that's the water. Let me hit O, see what this is. Yeah, this is water too. And it doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think. I mean, unless someone is looking at your photos with a magnifying glass and really analyzing each pixel, I think you can get away with a little bit of crudeness when it comes to the dexterity and perfectionist, or like how perfect your image is. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm just going to turn it off, turn it back on, and definitely is bringing more punch. Now I'm going to copy this and I'm going to add it to a dynamic contrast filter. I think that helps with really honing in on what On1 does well, right? With the dynamic contrast. I don't know. Let me know if that made sense to you in the filter, or wow, in the comment section. Please filter your comments, but yeah, in the comment section. Now, why did it not copy? On1 has been acting really strange since the update. I don't know if it's just me or if it's my computer, because I don't know. Moral of the story, On1 has been quitting randomly, and it's just been working really oddly for me. All right, so, and again, it didn't copy it. Like, I don't know what's going on. Do you not like to copy On1? Okay, well, then I suppose I'll have to do a similar thing again. Now that we know what we're looking for, we'll go like so. And this time I'm not going to get as precise, just so I don't make the video all crazy long. I don't think that's going to be fun for anyone to observe, because the goal here is to teach the technique so you can go train, practice, and get after editing your photos with your own particular style. And hopefully this is just inspiring you. Now, if you caught the quick edit earlier this week, let me know in the comment section below what you think about that. But the goal with those is the exact same thing that I do with the live streams, is really just to inspire you, right? I'm not trying to be some super deep theological teacher or philosophical photography teacher. I mean, if you think I am and you think that's what I'm doing, then thank you, I guess. But that's not what I'm doing. What I'm actually trying to do is just show you how to edit photos the best way that you can for those who want to be a part of that. All right. So now I need to really bring in the tone, because I haven't done anything with the tone. I didn't do it over here in the develop module, right? I just brought down the blacks, modified a little bit of the highlights, but I didn't really apply anything for the tone. So we're going to hit add filter. We'll go with tone enhancer. And we are going to focus right now with adding in just a little bit of light in this area. Now, you could obviously do this. I think I'm just going to open shadows. I think it would be, yeah, that's opening. Let me see. It's opening more up there. So instead, I'm just going to go with a local adjustment. Hit add. And then we'll click on open the shadows, and maybe we'll just increase that a tad bit. And let's use a radial filter. And we need to flip that to edges, so that way it goes inside, and that's a whole lot of brightness. And then I'm just going to squeeze this in, touch, turn it this way, and we'll just drop that right there. Let's see what that looks like. That's okay. And this is one of those moments where I do miss using Lightroom. because in Lightroom I would be able to copy these adjustments, you know, and place them all throughout here, right? All I'm trying to do is add a little bit of texture all over in this area. So this is Water Bright 1. And we'll do just a little bit there, a little bit more shadow here. We need edges. And I would also like to be able to draw my gradients instead of having to reshape them every time. If you know how to draw the gradient on with On1, please share that in the comment section below, because that would help me out immensely. Now this one I'm just going to make long and narrow. So it's like a streak of light. Okay, just like that. So just adding in a little bit of mystery, and I'm okay with the noise that comes with this. I'm not opposed to having noise in my image. All right. So now what we're going to do is really build up that color. And the first thing is by using a color adjustment. We could go color enhancer. And I am going to grab saturation, grab the color picker, and drag this to the right, because I really want to saturate this leaf, but it looks like it needs a little bit more. Oh yeah, look at that. I like it. And the reason why, or what we'll do here, grab a big brush, and I just want to get rid of all of that color adjustment that happened up here, because I want the star of the image to be this leaf, right? That's what I focused on. So we'll do that, and then we'll come over here and maybe let's bring the yellows down in the leaf and bring it a little bit more towards the orange, and maybe even we could pull it up. Now I see just a hint of green, so I want to pull those towards yellow. And then let's see what we can do with the reds. Not seeing much happen with the reds here. Okay, and I'll bring down the brightness. So now we have a little bit more liveliness inside of the leaf, right? Okay, so leaf adjustment, boom. Then we're going to add another filter, and it's going to be another color adjustment. And this time, since I know that in the yellows, I'm going to grab the saturation, and this time I am going to mask it away from the leaf. And I'm not going to be perfect on this one, because I don't think it really needs to be that precise for what I'm doing. It just needs to be in the areas that I'm targeting. So we'll bring down, and then we'll saturate it just a touch. Bring it, maybe yellow. Bring it more. No, I like it more towards the reds. I want it to be darker though. The goal is to make the leaf the star, So everything else that is supporting it has to be darker than the leaf. So we'll call this rock adjustment. Okay, and now we'll do a little bit of stylizing. We will use a LUT, and let's see if there are, let's see what's inside of color grading. That's a nice look, nice and fall. Now, these are obviously presets, so everyone should have access to these. Yeah, I like this one. So we're gonna go with focus. I don't know why on one's acting weird. And then we're just going to maybe pull the contrast out. Nah, I don't think it's processing that, so not gonna worry about it. Okay, like that, but I think it can be a little bit more orange, so I'm gonna add a photo filter. This is nothing new. You've seen this on many of my edits. I may go more of a red fill just because I really want this to hone in, polarize it. I like what polarizing this does. And I may add this to just the shadows to warm those up because I'm losing all that detail that I used to have over there. So maybe I will take out the polarizer a little bit. And we will throw this into the shadows. Oh, no, leave it on normal. Click the wrong thing. And then put it into the shadows. We'll bring the range of the shadows down just a touch. Yeah. It's just tinting the top of the image. And then I think maybe the last thing we'll do is another radial adjustment, but this time it's going to be over the leaf. So we'll hit M. We'll click on the leaf. The adjustment needs to be on center. Or no, it needs to be edges. Yes. Bring that into the leaf. I'll make it fit the leaf pretty well. I think that's good. Feather this quite a bit. And now, instead of darkening, let's add a little bit of exposure and add some structure. And we'll bring this down. We'll even add in a little bit of vibrance, a little bit of saturation, just for the cause. And I think the overall exposure can come down just a touch. Yeah. I guess I'm losing that shadow detail again. But I guess I could bring that down and then open the shadows. Yeah. Not too much. Because there's a lot going on back there. Okay. So this is the before edit. And then this is the after. A little bit more warm. I was going for a more subtle vibe. Now, there's a lot of different things and directions that you can take with this. Like, if I wanted to, I could even go at this point and add in an antique filter. Pull this down, maybe click on the red and then pull this down and just blend that in, and maybe even fade this. So, you know, just making the photo look, giving it a creative aesthetic. There's all kinds of things that you can do to edit your images using All-in Photo Raw, which is why it is one of my favorite photo editing applications. So hopefully this tutorial, one, wasn't too long, but two, inspires you to go and be creative and test out things to see where it goes. If this was at all helpful, smash the like button. I want to thank all of the return subscribers because you guys are awesome. And until the next time, I want you guys to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.